What's up guys, it's Richie Rich back yet again, and in this video I'm gonna be doing the top 5 career moments of the Ayatollah of rock and roller, Y2J Chris Jericho. Be sure to check this out. Before we get on to Chris Jericho's top 5 career moments, we want to take a moment at a time to congratulate our sponsors, Ray-Ban sunglasses. Now, if you thought those Ray-Ban sunglasses were cool, then I gotta get you in on a little surprise. We are also sponsored Tom Ford Black Orchid Collection. Anyone's followed my videos like up to now, they must know that the rich man is a die-hard WWE fan. Wrestlers that always were my favorites, the ones that I would always be like rooting for, you know, were the ones that I always could kind of relate to. Like, I could relate to Chris Jericho, and like, these are gonna be the top 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 best Chris Jericho moments from Richie Rich, you know. And just to start off, this is like very subjective. I'm pretty sure like everyone's got their own, you know, best Chris Jericho moments. It could even be a little bit of the, that's a bit too early, but one of the best Chris Jericho moments, and one of the best like WWE like way to debut on a, you know, nationwide television show was the his original debut from when he left the WCW to sign with the WWE in 1999, when he debuted against, not of all people, you know, he debuted against The Rock. This time, like, you know, The Rock was on fire, you know, this being like the main face of the WWE. So it was very ballsy for like this guy who was at WCW. He was beneath the likes of the Stings, the Hulk Hogan, you know, Kevin Nash, that whole like NWO, you know, that NWO that like invaded like WCW. Like, Jericho was in the tears with the cruiserweights, the Malenkos, Rey Mysterios, and, you know, rest in peace the Eddie Guerreros, you know. So it was such a level up for him to come in the WWE with a bang, and of all people, probably the guy who puts fear like in people's mind, like when he has a microphone, The Rock. So to, you know, go in that first you know, dueling promo with The Rock, you know what I mean, that's like he already elevated into a huge star, you know what I mean. And it's like, even when, you know, had Jericho sees, he felt like he didn't kind of match The Rock, you know, because Rock still got the best of Jericho on the night, you know, and Jericho sold it like he was like that kind of cowardly heel. But it's still like a you know, 10 out of 10 classic moment, you know, just the way when because what's so cool about the entrance is like when countdown, you know, it goes completely pitch black, the whole arena, you just, you know, see the streets of like New York City, you know, Jericho's all Tron. And then out of the screen, just like Jericho just pops out the screen, like flips over. And I remember the Chicago crowd at that time, they were going bananas. You know, definitely one of Y2J's all-time greatest moments. So I'll definitely say like the second one I'm gonna put on this list of Chris Jericho's top 5 moments would be the Muhaha Phantom win against Triple H. The game. You know, at this time, this was like a year after his debut. You know, Jericho was becoming such a fan favorite. You know, but Jericho was always kind of like getting his kind of foot in the mouth, because when he was using his promos, he was like insulting everyone. Like, him and Rock were like a duo doing that, but he crossed like paths with like insulting, you know, the World Wrestling Federation champion at that time, Triple H, is the wife boss's daughter, Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. Like this all led into a match like where they had like on the opening of like Monday Night Raw, Jericho was able to like trick Triple H, by insulting the wife, calling her filthy, dirty, disgusting, bottom feeding trash bag, the rest. But he's able to like ask him in to like put the title on the line, and with like help from like the APA, Farouk and Bradshaw, he was able to beat Triple H. Even though the referee did like a fast count, he still had Triple H pinned, 1, 2, 3, and like Jericho was the WWF champion, even though it was for a temporary period. And honestly, to compare the crowd reaction to the one in Chicago of his debut to one in the I believe it was Penn State University, neck and neck, even from when Jericho debuted, he I believe he already had this strong fan base, that was from like, ECW, WCW, where he was like, going on that circuit across like, the world, Japan and Europe and Mexico, so, they were always behind Jericho, and it was so evident, when he, even before like he he did the lion suit and pinned Triple H like 1, 2, 3, like there's a cool spot where Triple H has got him in the pedigree and Chris Jericho reverses it, he's turning him over to the walls of Jericho. Fans are going, again, but I'm gonna say bananas, they go mad, and it just showed that Jericho, from where he left, it showed that he could be a main event talent. Coming in at number 3 would definitely have to be, absolutely would have to be the Undisputed title win in the 2001 for the last pay-per-view of 2001, the Avengers pay-per-view, where they did a tournament to crown the first like Undisputed champion, from the Invasion storyline, where but the whole idea of like Y2J being crowned that Undisputed title belt it was kind of like a shock, to everyone. Like they never ever suspected, like no one ever would think that he would be victorious in a in a tournament that had like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, like two of the biggest megastars, of the whole like world wrestling period. So for him to win it just showed that the company had always a strong kind of like eyes on Jericho. He was always someone who could had potential and always could adapt to every situation. And the WCW won and the World Heavyweight Champion, it just showed that Jericho was king of the world. The one that comes in number 4, this was if you can see how Chris Jericho looks in this one, it was like Chris Jericho's second coming. And it was the whole saga he had with Shawn Michaels. That like saga with Shawn was Chris Jericho. It was one of the real first times you saw Chris Jericho really kind of reinvent himself. He went from that like flamboyant, charismatic, like insulting everyone he could. Really becoming like a crowd favorite, to being someone who was like monotone, used these very big words, dressed in a suit. And he was always saying like, I am the best in the world at what I do. Do you understand what I'm saying to you right now? He became like one of the biggest and best heels, and it was almost like a career resurgence, and it felt like Shawn Michaels was the perfect foil transition when it went to like 2008, when Chris Jericho was saying, these lot only cheer you because you're a hypocrite just like them. It's like he kind of put Chris Jericho, it put him in that kind of tier of like, this is now a main event player, and that legendary match he had with Shawn Michaels for the ladder match, where Shawn is like drenched in blood and Chris Jericho, alright, lost one of his teeth, one right there. And the 5th one was kind of difficult to choose this, but I feel it had to be there. It was the Chris Jericho vs Kenny Omega match, which was in the Tokyo Dome. The significant importance of this match because it was one of the first time Chris Jericho had returned to Japan, from wrestling there in his 20s, before he became, the Y2J that we all know about. It was him returning there, and when he came back as a real true megastar, and he came there as a draw. Jericho became that guy, and what was great was he was facing one of like Japan's like biggest wrestlers at that time, and even to this day, the cleaner Kenny Omega. And then seeing him in this kind of stage, which pretty much is how he is now. Even if you see him in AEW, it kind of that kind of Jericho kind of started here. He started growing his hair long. He was calling himself Alpha, like the whole match was Alpha v Omega, and he had some great build, because Jericho stands there and he's talking to Omega. He's on the Titantron and he's saying like, I'm the best, not CM Punk, not Edge, me. I'm the one who's been here all this time, and he rips the Kenny Omega picture and he says, boy, I am coming for you, Tokyo. And the match delivered. It got a 5-star, rating, and is one of best. I would honestly say, is definitely one of Chris Jericho's best matches of all time. So that, that's my top 5 Chris Jericho moments. It is hard because Chris Jericho is, not only the man of 1,004 holds, but he has so much great moments, and he's one of the few wrestlers who's able to kind of have got spanned like a 30-year career, and start from the bottom and make it all the way to the top, headlining WrestleManias, winning the World Championship, and he was even able to make a career outside of the WWE. Chris Jericho is talent, Chris Jericho is money, and Chris Jericho is a bad mama jamma, something that he never says a lot, which means a hot chick. And now, so Jerichoholics of all ages, that's Richie Rich's top 5 Chris Jericho moments. Leave your own Jericho top 5 moments in the description. So like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow me on social media, and always remember that Richie Rich will be back yet again, and it's peace to fingers.